The Great Emu War Debate, 1932, Western Australia. High retention spoken storytelling script, 450 words. They say every nation has a story so unbelievable people assume it must be a joke. But in 1932, Australia declared war, not on another country, but on emus. And for nearly a century, the world has argued about whether it was a farce or a tragedy disguised as one. The truth lies somewhere in between. Picture this: Western Australia, a land of shimmering heat, dust-bitten winds, and fields stretching so far they seem to fade into nothing. Farmers, many of them war veterans, were barely holding their livelihoods together after the Great Depression. Crops had finally sprouted, only for 20,000 emus to arrive like a feathered tide, devouring everything in sight. To the farmers, it felt like an invasion. They begged the government for help, and the government, desperate, overwhelmed, sent soldiers. Real soldiers with machine guns. From the moment they arrived, the air felt wrong, as if everyone realized they were stepping into a story future generations wouldn't believe. The first operation began at Campion, a group of emus grazing near a dam. The soldiers positioned themselves carefully, took aim, and fired. The birds scattered instantly, fast, silent, unpredictable. One witness said it looked like trying to shoot shadows in a storm. What should have been simple became embarrassing. And day after day, Australia's finest were outmaneuvered by giant, flightless birds. Some emus ran as if they'd trained for battle. Others darted like ghosts into the scrub. A few seemed to taunt the soldiers, standing tall, unbothered, before disappearing into the brush with impossible speed. Newspapers loved it. Cartoons mocked it. Reporters turned it into a global punchline. Australia loses war to emus. But behind the jokes were farmers watching their fields die, soldiers frustrated not by the enemy but by the absurdity of the mission, and a government wondering how the situation had spiraled into international ridicule. After weeks of failed operations, jammed equipment, and exhausted troops, the military withdrew. The war ended not with victory, but an uneasy silence. And that's where the debate began. Was it a comedic disaster, a symbol of bureaucratic miscalculation, or a misunderstood struggle faced by desperate people in an unforgiving land? Nearly a century later, the arguments still continue. But one truth endures. The Great Emu War wasn't really about birds versus bullets. It was about the strange, unpredictable moments where human plans meet the raw force of nature, and nature refuses to yield. Because sometimes, the story that sounds the most ridiculous reveals the most about who we are. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.